Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Rao coming on to you on the Saturday evening. Uh, Hope everybody's having a good weekend. And I felt like speaking to my friends about uh, my usual topic that I was coming on Saturdays to talk about is to my struggle to make health systems wellness oriented in my own small way. I practice that and advise that in my clinic, in the hospitals that I go to, and to the people that I talk to, the healthcare personnel, healthcare system chiefs, and all that, right? Essentially, I'm talking about how we can get more out of for the buck, but what we are spending for the healthcare systems. Now it has reached $4.3 trillion, which is an enormous amount of money that we are spending on the healthcare expenditure without really realizing all the benefit, all the uh, usefulness of the system for not only treating us, restoring to the balance, but also to maintain that balance, to have a healthy, wellness oriented, and joyful life. You know, that I think is missing because many people are burdened with chronic diseases and they kind of live through it and then they kind of manage it a little bit or maintain it a little bit and then in spite of the good modern care that should not be like that. That's my point. We have enough knowledge, enough know-how, enough technology, and more than enough technology to really address general health issues. Rare issues, rare diseases, chromosomal induced, or some kind of toxicity that we don't know. Those things can happen. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about regular chronic diseases that can be identified very early and treated and can maintain a mode of wellness, a level of wellness where you feel energetic, where you feel joyful, and where you feel really having a lot of enthusiasm for whatever you do, and you have the physical prowess for it. That is what I'm talking about. Okay, that kind of orientation, unfortunately, is not given that much attention either at the individual level, family level, society level, country level, or international level or the world level, right? They do establish some organization, they do the routine things, but they are not done with that vigor that we do with our diseases. Okay, obviously we have to treat the disease, we have to spend all the energy for that, but can we make it more economical by paying attention to them before they manifest, before they become a real problem? That means don't neglect the diabetes when it is brewing and spend a lot of money after it has manifested with a lot of complications. That's basically what's happening with many diseases, not just the diabetes only. So that's my point of view. And this I came to a conclusion with when I examined health systems that are holistic, that are that cheap, actually, anything. What it needs is understanding a way of life that is wholesome, healthy, and easy to implement if you do it daily, if you do it as a habit. Okay, for example, you get used to get up in the morning, go for a half an hour walk 5 days a week. That itself is a very, very big aid to your wellness, right? That's what I'm talking about. Okay? 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, brisk walking will restore a lot of things. Okay, that's so done early in the morning is a much better thing. And then come and have a good breakfast, go and work with energy, and really have a small snack maybe for the lunch, and then come home and have a early dinner that is holistic, and then go to sleep and unwind. These simple benefits we can do. I have a guest here. Let me invite on the Wisdom app. Hi there.
Doc. It is the Guru Warrior.
Yeah.
I have lupus. I've
Ah,
had it for, oh gosh, I had it since I was 11.
yeah.
I'm 53.
Hmm.
And I really, really wish, like back in the 70s,
Yeah.
that doctors actually knew,
Mm-hmm.
you know, these certain things that you should do.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a baby, my mother told me she smoked cigarettes.
Ah.
The
Mm.
doctor told her to smoke cigarettes if she had constipation, and
Ah.
they even gave her morphine when she was pregnant with me.
Oh. Ah.
Um, so, things have changed. But
Yeah.
I must say, if I do look back, like in the beginning, they said that lupus wasn't, it wasn't hereditary,
Yeah.
but they just didn't know exactly what it was.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I look back at like my great grandmother and my grandmother and my mother,
Mm.
then I'm like, yeah, it is hereditary,
It
but
is.
it just manifested in different ways.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I've been able to stay alive this long with this disease is basically my refusal to take poison.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and my big problem with allergies,
Mm.
which nearly killed me back in October.
Yeah.
Um, they had me on a ventilator and everything.
Oh.
Uh, they were trying to run a stress test.
Yeah.
Now,
Mm.
the stress test, the medicine that they gave through my portacath,
Ah. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And that's really not a good idea,
Yes.
especially if you have allergies. They even gave me the one that they said, well, we have two different types of medicines,
Ah.
so we'll give you the one that people who have allergies are not allergic to.
Ah.
Well, that wasn't a good idea. This stuff started coming out of my skin.
Yeah.
I had paisleys all over my body,
Mm.
like big raised bumps and stuff. And the next thing I know, I wake up in the ICU
Yeah. Yeah.
with a ventilator. You know, and they're baffled. They're like, it's a vasodilator.
Yeah.
How could you be allergic to that? I'm like, lupus does not go by your books.
Yeah.
It does whatever it wants to. But
Exactly. Exactly. It's an
it,
autoimmune thing. It's a varied thing. It's not standard for everybody. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they, what I want to get across to, if there's any doctors listening in on this conversation, is not every lupus patient is the same.
Yeah.
I still have my kidneys.
Hmm.
I still have, everything is okay, but I have other weird diseases like scleroderma,
Yeah.
you
Mm.
know, and antiphospholipid antibody syndrome.
Yeah.
And doctors are like, wow, you even can say those words?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them like, guys, come on, this is very serious. You
Yeah.
know,
It's not
it
that
looks at me,
difficult to understand. It's an antibody because of this poison that you have. It is producing antibodies, and they are in themselves harmful to you. That is autoimmune. How difficult it is to
yeah,
understand that. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, even with the portacat, there's like a big danger to
Yeah.
have. Like
Yeah.
I've had infections with, in my blood,
Yeah.
which is almost impossible to get. But, the carelessness of nurses is beyond reproach at times.
Yeah. I
You
think
know,
they are ignorant too, Guru, because they cope mechanically, instead of just use the common sense and say each body is different, each response is different. Same
right.
allergen that you are not allergic to one time, you can be allergic later on because the environment is producing so many things.
Yeah, I really just don't understand that, even these are not like the doctors that I spoke to were not like baby doctors. I mean, they've been
No.
in the doctor business for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, guys. Haven't you had anybody in here with lupus? They're like, well,
Oh.
not, like yours. You should see when they put the allergy bands on my arm, I've got like five of them. you know,
Yeah.
so they're very careful with me, but still, I don't know all the allergies.
Yeah.
It's like it changes like every 3 months or so.
I think this is
I
what I'm talking about. An example like you, who is more aware of the illness, who is there to tell the story and to increase the awareness of lupus. A lot of people don't understand what is lupus. And also, well, like you pointed out, your kidneys are not affected. That's a big deal because a lot of
yeah,
young stage lupus people have the kidney shot, you know, and then you are
yes,
doing probably some holistic things, good health, avoiding some toxins and understanding what the disease is, not doing the things that can provoke reactions for you. That is what I'm talking about, working towards your wellness. You are actively proactive about your disease, understanding it, learning it, sharing it, and that's wonderful.
yeah. I have my own page
Yes.
called Living with Lupus One Day at a Time. So if you have lupus and you're listening, come and join me.
Yeah.
I make jokes about it.
Yeah.
One of my biggest things, though, is like sleep. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
and a lot of people don't understand. Sleep is so important.
Yeah.
And there are times where I do everything right. I mean, I try
Yeah.
to do the best that I can to make myself exhausted so I can go to sleep. I tried waking up and going to sleep at a certain time, but that did not work.
Sleep
You know,
generally, I talked about it. Do you have any idea about what I talked about? Shall I share again?
I was listening in the beginning, talking about taking a walk and stuff, but
Yeah, yeah, no, no.
you know,
So for the sleep itself, I always come and talk, right? So many talks are there, but there's a specific segment where I talked about how to have quality, good sleep, even for a few hours. How that evolved was I was working as a physician. That means I had to take night calls, right? And there were so many years where we are sleep deprived, training and working
yeah,
and all that, right? So that's the part of the job. But then I have to figure out a hack for me so that I can have better sleep. And basically, I wanted to have my system, mind, and body regenerated better. So I kind of looked at the modern literature, fine. And then I looked at the ancient literature. That really helped me. You know, what they say basically is how you handle your mind helps you to sleep better. That means in the morning till evening, are you really occupied with a lot of thoughts, or are you only working with the thoughts that are needed for the job you are doing or whatever you are doing at the time? See, most of the time we kind of think in the past or in the future, right? And we think it is normal, but then we don't really pay attention to what we are doing. But the trick is being in the present, being in the attention all the time. That means whatever you are doing, give your complete attention to it. And then what happens is, as you are doing, for example, I'm talking to you, I'm only talking to you, and then after you are done, another person comes, I'll give the same attention to the other person too. That way I'm not accumulating stuff in my head, or am I forecasting some things that are not there in the present time. So you're kind of relaxed mind, but at the same time you're focused and you are in the flow. And that kind of thing relaxes the mind so much, and you don't have to have so much of dreamy sleep. That means you will have more of deep sleep.
yes,
So you can practice that. There's techniques
yeah,
for that. I will tell you more about it if you are interested. Then there are some things you want to
that
do.
sounds great.
Yeah, before sleep and after sleep. What do you do before sleep? There's an ambience you create. There's kind of habit you create. There's kind of unwinding. See, most of the time, modern times, people don't spend time to unwind, to really relax before you go to sleep. That kind of things like that. And then after you get up from the sleep, don't get on the this bandwagon of thought engine. Like I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, and all this planning. Don't do that. Just be aware of that. So this kind of before and after sleep will also help you a lot. Ultimately, what it is understanding what produces deep sleep, understanding how you can maintain that will really help your system to come back to normal, because sleep is there to put our body and the mind to the normal rhythms. See,
Yes.
that's why
It's
you have to
very
use.
important. That sounds great. That sounds great. I mean, I've listened to I've put stuff in the background from my subconscious, like
Yeah,
white noise and
yeah.
things like that. And sometimes it works, and then sometimes it's like
No, no, no.
nothing.
Subconscious, you see, that's a yoga system talks about this. What they say is, suppose you are not thinking consciously, you are kind of thinking how that happened 2.5 years ago. That man said this, that man hurt, something like that. Okay, then that goes and stays in your subconscious or the cortical system by forming its own neuronal path. This is the neuroplasticity we understand now. So we don't want to really reserve things. We want to get rid of them as much as possible on a daily basis. That is what I call cleaning the mirror of mind before we go to sleep. You see,
Yes,
what you
yes.
do is
I
just
like to do that.
just go through the day. That what did happen today? What did I do at 9 o'clock? What did I do at 8 o'clock? What is 7 o'clock? Like that, go in the reverse order and reflect on your experience of the day. And if you have reacted emotionally, or if you have reacted positively, negatively, whatever it is, put them aside. If they are mere very trivial things, get rid of them. But if they're important, put them on the paper, still get it out of your mind for the night. So that kind of simple exercise of reflection on the day and picking on the positive and then putting away the negative will help a lot. That is the cleaning of the mirror. If you clean of the mirror during the sleep, it cleans much more. So when you get up, you really get up with a energy, and then with a clarity. You find out yourself like I don't have any burden on my mind. That's very important for the autoimmune people, because
Yeah.
you generate so much internal energy that can heal you with your fundamental disease. There is a routine also I want to show you. That routine is about increasing the lymphatic flow of our body by exercise. So for example, you do get up on the toes and get up on the heels alternately. You are working on your calf muscles, right? That calf muscles is the second heart. It kind of pumps venous blood and also lymph from the bottom to the heart. So there are
Really?
yeah, there are so many lymph nodes, which is your important autoimmune disorder system. The lymph nodes are there spread up from toe to head. So many groups are there. So I have exercise, simple exercise. You don't have to do so much, 10 minutes. If you do that, that lymphatic flow improves, which is good for you, for the autoimmune people especially. So
Nice.
yeah, these
I
things are
never
there.
heard of that.
Yeah,
That's the first time I've ever heard of that. And I've done research on,
yeah,
all
yeah.
the chakras and things like that,
Yeah, yeah.
and meditation and
I'm more like a
and then
non-pharmaceutical. That means you can do with your behavior,
yeah,
your diet, your exercise, and your thoughts.
yeah,
That's all.
yes.
And if you do
That's what
that,
I've been doing. I mean,
wonderful.
I've gotten through COVID
Yeah,
without the jab.
yeah,
I was on the ICU unit
yeah,
in between two COVID patients
yeah,
and came home completely healthy.
yeah, yeah.
No
See,
problem.
generally, modern man's immunity has gone down so much. So I would recommend people to take vaccines as a physician,
Oh,
because most,
definitely. But
yeah.
my doctors are like, no,
No.
because my body does the opposite of what
Yeah,
medication.
yeah. You. That's the autoimmune means your immunity is acting against you. That's why they are afraid
Yeah,
of that. I understand that, but generally, because I'm a proponent of the vaccine in general, but also
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of improving your own immunity by these non-invasive changes in your diet, changes in your exercise, changes in your sleep, and changes in your thought. These four things I
Yeah.
always advocate, and that's no
Okay.
harmful because that's how we become holistic and wellness. And then if you need medications, I have no problem giving them, but just making you dependent on only medication is something I have a problem with. You know, I think you can come back if you want to. Yeah, because he has some things we need to resolve. Um, I'm so glad that he is taking such a uh, proactive role in his health maintenance, and he's a good
I'm
advocate.
a girl.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
a
sorry.
girl.
Oh,
I
she's
gotta sound like a guy
yeah, yeah.
because
She's
I had the scleroderma messes with my throat,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry,
I'm
but I
constantly drinking. Have a very deep voice for a woman.
yeah, that's okay. But
Excuse me.
now that I know, I don't make the same mistake again. But she is doing
Yeah.
wonderful job of being a advocate for self-awareness of any disease we have. If you don't have a disease about our health, our illness, we should be more proactive. That's what I'm trying to. Um,
Yes, like health is wealth, and
yeah,
that's what I was trying to explain to my audience
yeah,
earlier.
yeah,
I told them exactly, all the things that I've been through. Even as a child, I found out I was allergic to aspirin
yeah.
a little
Hmm.
bit too late,
Hmm. Hmm.
and ended up in like a 4-month coma
Ah.
because of aspirin.
Hmm.
I was one out of 10 children
Ah.
that survived. What is what is it? Oh my God, it was so long ago.
CNR
The
syndrome.
brain thing.
Um,
It was they put it on warning labels now, but it's
encephalitis.
a very rare disease.
You may have
That
encephalitis. That
no, it's Rice syndrome.
rice. Yeah, that is common with the
Yes,
aspirin allergy. Yeah, rice syndrome. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
Well, back in the 70s,
yeah.
nobody had
That.
even you know
Yeah.
went through it,
Yeah.
and I was like the winner. I think I think I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records as far
Yeah.
as they're concerned.
Yeah.
Here in New York City, I was one of 10 children that survived,
You wonderful.
and they
Wonderful.
did
Yeah.
not know
Mm,
how to treat it or anything like that.
yeah.
I also had rheumatic fever as well, so I
Ah.
have a little lightning bolt on my heart, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Now that is a board question. In the American boards, that is a question. Rice syndrome, and what happens with aspirin? Why we should not be giving it to children? All that. It is a warning on
Not at
the.
all.
Yeah. Now I think because of that awareness, a lot of cases were reported because people now know what they are seeing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Well, my mother went all the way to Washington and
Mm.
made them put
Mm.
on the bottles, Johnson baby aspirin is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
for babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do not give that to babies.
Yeah,
Maybe to people who have antiphospholipid
yeah,
antibody syndrome,
yeah,
but not for babies. But I will tell you a story about warfarin before I go.
yeah, sure.
Um, I was taking warfarin for a couple of months.
Uh-huh.
I had a very attentive doctor, Dr. Patel. How you doing?
Yeah,
Um, he um, he tests my blood. He did my PTTs and my INRs once a week,
yeah.
and he was freaked out because to the emergency room because I kept on fainting, and I
Ah,
was so tired.
mm,
And it turned out that I needed. What was happening was his blood was coming out of my eyes,
mm,
and it was running down my nose, and I was like, "What the heck?" This never happened before. And he's like, "Oh my God, you must be allergic to it."
yeah,
And it turns out that, yeah, my body was like, "Oh, what's this? Let's play with this." It's like a 2-year old with a fork and a socket. They
yeah,
just want to stick it in there. So, now they have me giving myself shots
Yeah.
in my stomach
Mm.
with, the blood thinner.
Yeah.
And then the doctor is like, oh no, that's not good. You can't be on that forever. Your bones are going to go soft.
Yes.
I'm like, well, what am I going to do? You could take aspirin. I'm like, nope.
You're allergic to it.
they're
Yeah.
like, they're like, you are the most difficult person on the planet. I'm like, there's got to be something to thin my blood so that I don't have to keep doing this because every night I shriek when I
Mm.
have to do this.
Yeah.
You know, I can't stand it. I've got like black and blue mark spots all over my stomach. It
Okay.
is not sexy.
Yeah. Guru, you reach out to me and I will send you a Zoom link and I'll show you the routine of immune enhancing routines. It's very simple. You can do that yourself, You can
I
even,
will.
yeah, you can even take a recorder of that and then do it at least twice a week. And that will help you or whatever you're doing is helping you now. But I just want to enhance it by sleep routines which can enhance your depth of sleep. You see, when I sleep, I really sleep what's called on my being, not on my thought. See, so that's a very
Yeah.
advanced thing. It needs more understanding, but that's okay. But we can definitely improve. Anybody can. First of all, don't drink any alcohol. Don't
Oh no, no.
don't do any of the sleeping pills
No,
unless,
never.
yeah. And then
I
that,
tried that one time and I started sleepwalking and fell down the stairs.
yeah, yeah. You are more sensitive though
That's not
because
cool.
you have a hematobiotic system that is much more sensitive. You can even bleed in your mind, so you have to be very careful
Yeah.
with everything. You are a special case, but what I'm saying, generally anybody can try and just be in the present and change your sleep pattern, sleep depth. You will sleep more deeply in
Deeper.
less time. Like, for example, I can sleep for 20 minutes and I will be completely refreshed. That's the
You're
stage.
like my husband. He could just like close
Eh,
his eyes and wake up 4 hours and be like, "It's time for morning." He's a
yeah.
morning person. I'm like, how the heck do you do this? He gets in the bed.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, done.
That, yeah.
We have a little
It's a
conversation. It's
blessing. It's a,
nice, and then all of a sudden, boom, gone.
yeah.
I'm like, and he wakes up so refreshed. He takes the dog out for a walk. He's like, la la la,
Yeah.
coming back like breakfast time. I'm like, no, I want to sleep, and I might end up sleeping for like 2 days
yeah.
because my body is like, even though you did go to sleep the night before, it really wasn't that
Is
good,
is he is
and
he is he more like a
yeah,
happy-go-lucky guy?
huh?
Is he more like a happy-go-lucky guy, taking it
Oh
easy?
yeah,
Yeah, that's why.
yeah,
That's why
yeah.
he's
So
sleeping
am
very
I
well.
though. So am I. I'm not a stressed out person
yeah,
because I know what stress does to me.
yeah, yeah,
When I do stress, it gets bad. So my husband does his very best to keep me
yeah.
unstressed. Because he's my caretaker. I
Let
have
me let
seizures
me
and
put it this way. What
things
I'm
that I
trying to,
can't control.
yeah, what I'm trying to teach you is how can we be deeply relaxed even when we are working. For example, we are driving, right? Initially, we have to remember everything, clutch, brake,
Check
or
your
whatever.
six.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything, right? But later on, they all become habits, and then we put them aside, and then we can drive relaxedly, and we know what is going on, right? That is being in the flow state. The more you are in the flow state while you are engaged with life during the day, the more deeply you can sleep at night.
I think I have to get back and start doing my Tai Chi again.
Yeah, Tai Chi,
I used to get
wonderful.
a lot more sleep when I was doing Tai Chi.
Yeah, wonderful.
It
Tai Chi
really was.
is a
Yeah.
movement, motion, is a dance like it goes all the ways, wonderful for the body. But at the same time, you have to do it in awareness, relaxed
Yeah.
mind. And that's why Tai Chi is wonderful. Yeah, sure, definitely go
It
ahead, do
is.
it. Yeah,
It is. And they even have one where you could sit down.
yeah, yeah,
and do it.
yeah,
So I appreciate that because
yeah,
my bones have been arthritic since 8. So
yeah,
I may look young,
yeah,
and it looks like there's nothing wrong with me, which is so bad because when I go to the doctor and I say I'm in a lot of pain,
yeah.
but I'm smiling and I look youthful, they're like, come on,
Uh,
really? I'm like, yes, you know, there are things inside my body that are not nice,
yeah,
you know, and that's the only time I get stressed is when I
yeah.
go to the doctor. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to go to the doctor anymore. I don't want to know what my new disease of the week is, because I've got like 8 of them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, another thing that has kept me, very healthy is the fact that I am West Indian and
Ah,
I eat a lot of spices.
ah,
I eat curry and peppers and stuff like that. So that helps with the swelling.
very
You
good.
know.
They are
Oh yes,
antioxidants, most of them are, because I eat the Indian diet, right? There's also spicy chilies and all that.
mm,
They're very good for the
yes,
antioxidation. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
yes, definitely. Turmeric is
Turmeric,
my
yeah,
best friend. I
yeah,
mean, I make sure I get my turmeric in all the time. I don't care if it's coming out of my skin
yeah,
and my clothes smell like turmeric, but I know that it's healthy for me. I drink it with green tea,
yeah,
and it also helps with weight, and I think it also helps with aging because
yeah.
I don't have a wrinkle in my face, and I'm 53.
I know. Yeah.
And people are like, "What the heck?"
Uh,
You know, I get carded all the time. I went out to a disco with my daughter, and she has little wrinkles. I said, you have to start cooking like West Indian again. You're getting wrinkles there. What's with the gray hair? She's like, I have a teenager. I was
uh,
like, I think God is getting you back for what you did to me.
you see, you're an example
But
what I'm talking about. I'm talking about don't be despondent about having a disease. Look at your disease is a very tremendously suffering and a lot of pain producing. Really bad thing that she's doing. She's very courageous, Gurudev. I really
yeah,
appreciate.
I'm doing the best I can.
I appreciate you very much because this is what I'm talking about. Take responsibility for being in the homeostasis. That's what you are doing. You are kind of strive toward the homeostasis with these antioxidants, with a relaxed attitude, with a, like a awareness, all the meditation, everything that you are doing, helping you to revamp your own immune system more robust so that you can really make it a friend, not an enemy. That's your struggle, right?
Yes,
And you're doing good
I
job.
just want I
Yeah,
just want my body to shake hands with itself and get over it. So,
yeah, yeah. I
you know,
think,
I'm just happy to have lived this long
yeah,
with a disease that the doctor was like, it's chronic.
yeah,
And when people say chronic, you automatically think, oh my God, I'm going to die. I
yeah.
mean, I had cancer.
Uh-huh.
I had, oh my God, non-Hodgkin's
Non-Hodgkin.
lymphoma.
Okay, okay. Lymphoma, yeah.
And I just walked through that like, it was a rainstorm.
Mm.
I went ahead, I lost my hair, I did whatever I had to. And, the doctor is like couple of months later, he's like, fine, we
Yeah,
don't see anything. You're
that is
good to go.
wonderful. Yeah. See, that is the
And that
thing.
was
Cancer is not a death
4 years.
sentence. It's only one of the disease we can deal with it. So you have to
Yeah.
respond with it with positivity. Yeah. I'm so glad that
Yes.
you are doing all these things and then you come to my room and represent what I'm talking about. We can always take charge of our health and then really progress towards the wellness to whatever degree we can get.
And don't get me wrong, Doc. I do like my junk food, but it's not a constant thing.
That is a
It can't
no-no.
be. Or else I end up feeling like garbage over
Yeah,
the next 3 days. I'm like,
yeah,
Oh my God, why?
Yeah, but this junk food in the people who are not aware that they are eating junk can be very harmful because they eat that all the time and they don't notice what they are losing in terms of good nutrients and vitamins, minerals that they need. They're not getting it because the junk food also has this quick burnout, and then that's not good for your pancreas either. So, it is proven processed food as a whole is not good for us. It causes
Oh,
diabetes, obesity,
no,
and all this.
never,
Yeah,
never. Everything in my culture, we
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I don't even know how to make a box of macaroni and cheese.
yeah, yeah, yeah. These
My
quick
husband
calories are,
laughed at me forever about
yeah,
that. You know,
yeah,
everything I make from scratch.
yeah. Keep in touch
So
with me, and then we'll work
that's the
on
way
those
to do.
two things for you, Guruzwar. Okay.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye.
I get you on the.
Yeah. So she's so wonderful about dealing with her lupus, which is I have seen my share of lupus quite a bit, right? Variety of lupus patients and variety of responses of the patients too. So some people really suffer kidney damage and of course skin, of course miscarriages. So many things are there with the lupus, which is not good. It so happened my chief of internal medicine was a peripheral vascular disease specialist. So he used to welcome these kind of cases for the grand rounds every week. So we got introduced to so many patients that have variety of lupus. So we know about it very well because of his specialization, his interest, and all of us young doctors were presenting cases of lupus as much as we can get them. So that way we heard depth of the lupus presentation, lupus treatment choices and no choices, and the patient's journey. All those things were very visible to us through those cases. That's why I'm so familiar with the lupus cases as a whole. But being a yoga practitioner, I know yoga doesn't take like a only lymph node or anything like, but it takes our system and then makes it much more immunogenic. That means enhancement of our immune system by being deep breathing and stretching and also keeping the mind calm. All these things reduce our stress, and that helps the chronic diseases like this lupus. I'm glad that she came and presented for the education of all of us. So I appreciate her very much. So I want to help her to see my practice of how to keep our lymph flowing from legs to the top all the time and enhance that. That really helps the immunity as a whole. And I was doing this because of the COVID. I wanted to help people not only get the vaccine. I really advocate that, and also mitigate measures. That is also we educate a lot. But in addition to that, how can we improve our own immunity? That's what I was focusing on with the yoga practice, breathing, and calming the mind. All these things help reduce the stress and thereby help to make our system resistant or resilient to the outward dangers like COVID or other bacteria too. I myself did not get a cold or this one for the last 7 years, maybe. I think the last time I recall was in 2014. After that, I never had this, or even though I live with all this I don't get these things because of my daily practice of this exercise, deep breathing, and keeping the mind deliberately calm it down and focus on the things that we are doing. Be attentive to that so that we don't have to think unnecessary things unnecessarily, right? That kind of thing. So I'm going to show her two things. One is how to have a good deep sleep and how to enhance our immune system by enhancing the lymphatic flow from feet to the heart. Like just like a venous blood, it comes from bottom to the top, right? I will show her that. I think I have done the videos on the Instagram also. So if anybody is interested, they can go and check my Instagram channel. In the archives, they were there. I used to do daily, but then I switched it to Zoom because I wanted to see what my students are doing. So right now, these things are happening on my Zoom sessions. Okay, anybody interested, they can send me a DM, and then I'll show you how to sign up for that, and then come and do yoga with me. Okay. So that's a wonderful way of presenting the data that I needed to. Anybody else wants to come up? You can come up. I will have maybe a few more minutes to talk about anything that you want regarding wellness and how to preserve our wellness, how to be in homeostasis, how to be in balance within ourselves so that our body, mind, and spirit are synchronized and then they face the life much better. Okay. Otherwise, I'll be seeing you again as I get the time. I come up and talk to my friends here. And you're welcome to send me the DMs if you want to, and I'll be happy to answer them. Okay. Uh, Thank you. Thank you for coming to listen to me. There are some 38 people on this call. Daryl is there, and Joyce is there, Lois is there, and Sanya. So any of you guys you want to come up, I will stay here for a few more minutes. Otherwise, I'll be closing it down. Oh, Lois, oh, my friend. Okay. Hi, Lois.
Dr. Rao,
How are you?
how are you doing?
I am great, as usual.
I am great as well.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about towards wellness-oriented health systems.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I didn't hear anything you talked about because I was on the kudos room.
Okay.
But are we talking about functional medicine? Are we talking about integrated medicine? Are we talking about holistic? What are we talking about?
We are talking about the health systems themselves. They are being
The whole
whole system is spending a lot of money, $4.3 trillion. Okay, but then if you take the measure of the health of the society, many people walk ill. You know, they may take some medications to feel okay for the day, but they don't have the pep, they don't have the energy, they don't have the just of life. That's what I'm talking about. It is possible. See, look at Gurudev who came here. She had a major illness, but I think she is victorious on that illness by her involvement, by her awareness, by her doing some things on her own. That's what I'm talking about. Take care of your food, take care of your exercise, take care of your sleep, and also thought, and you will be fine. Of course, like you and me know, if you are a self-realized person, you are the most healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah, but that's not be for
When
everyone.
your vibration
Yeah,
lowers, you're susceptible to
yeah,
the colds and the flus and the aches and the pains. So
exactly.
the biggest thing is keeping your internal systems balanced,
Yeah,
and that means you got to work with every area that concerns you. That's your social, that's your emotional, that's your
exactly,
mental, that's your
exactly.
physical, that's your energetic, and there's no way to get all that healthy
Yeah.
with Western medicine. Western medicine treats symptoms and
Symptoms.
gives drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Asian medicine or indigenous medicine,
Yeah.
they tend to treat everything from an energetic point. And so it's like if you can take the American doctors and to mix them with the practitioners of like I just went and had acupuncture done this week, and mix them with the different indigenous type of practitioners like the herbologists and the acupuncturists and the acupressurists and the Reiki people, and I think that's the only approach that worked for me getting my body healed, and I didn't even know I was doing that.
I'm practicing this, Lois. So that's why I teach this because I'm a physician of internal medicine background, basically, but learned some good things from the ancient wisdom that are non-pharmaceutical, no drugs. I don't even use the herbs, also that's fine too. But then basically, understanding what is health happened through them. Whereas here, we fix the symptoms, like you said, and that's it. We don't do much.
And then you don't cure
Yeah,
because it is each time they gave me a drug for a symptom of a disease they said I had when I had all those 40 some diseases, the
yeah,
drug it dysregulated some other area which required a new drug,
yeah,
which regulated another area which required another drug, which dysregulated another area, and
yeah.
they were not giving me what do I do to cure. Yes, I went to the nutritionist and I went to the dietitian. They didn't even understand
Right.
gluten intolerance.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, what the hell? You guys don't even understand allergies. How are you going to tell me what I should eat for? Or at that time, I had diabetes, high blood pressure, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Exactly.
But how you going to tell me how to eat for all that kind of stuff? And you don't even understand allergies.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So to me, for me, I think that medicine at this point, in if we want the world or United States people or whoever to be healthier, we have to take a holistic approach.
Yeah.
We got to look at what are our emotions doing?
You
What
see,
is our mind thinking? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
what is our physical body? Is our physical body moving?
Yeah.
And then what are we putting in our physical body? Are we putting in genetically modified stuff that your body that looks like food, smells like
Yeah.
food, tastes like food, but your body does not recognize that garbage as food?
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like the only way we're going to get into a wellness oriented health system is that we got to look at the whole person, because
Yes.
Western, again, they'll tell you to go to the psychiatrist for your mind,
Yeah.
go to the psychologist for your emotions, go to the
Exactly.
doctor for your this. And the
Mm.
thing is that we need a comprehensive approach. Is there
Exactly.
not one? I did all those things. I went to this person, I went to that person, but not one person by itself and what their remedy was
Yes.
healed anything.
Yeah.
They didn't heal nothing. They created more problems than they just gave the drug.
That is
There was no
true.
continuity of care.
Lot of old people who are in the nursing homes, they have so many medications that are keeping them alive, but interacting and producing a lot of problems. They don't
Yes.
have any life. They can't move. They can't talk. They can't enjoy anything. So it really makes me feel very sad when I see them. You don't need to do that. You can move them a little bit. You can reduce the unnecessary medications and also create something like animals coming to them, flowers coming to them, or relatives coming to them, those kind of life sparking things. I am
Yes.
very proud of you, Lois, because you are very aware of what's going on, not only your interior, but also with your body, with what is happening with your diet and with the exercise. All
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let us get
Because
all.
it's all I mean, if you really look at it, if they're compartmentalizing us off. Like, okay, we're
Yeah,
gonna work on this, that.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
thing is that we're a whole being, and if
yeah,
you mess with one area with
yeah,
either with a drug or with herbs or with whatever, it
yeah.
affects the whole
Okay,
system. And until
exactly,
they look at it like that, that one thing is going to have an effect on another thing. It's just like the universe. I can
exactly.
do one thing here, and
Yeah,
it can have reverberation all the way to somebody else who's listening to this conversation. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's always picking up energy and going up further than where it is. And
yeah,
I think if the medical establishment come to some agreement and not say my method. This is kind of like religion. My religion is
yeah,
better than yours. My medicine is better than yours. Your
yeah,
medicine is hope.
yeah.
That's magic. No, it's called getting herbs and stuff that come from the earth that you would normally eat if you were in the wild.
Yeah, natural stuff.
and eating
Yeah.
what you need.
Natural stuff. You see, other
Yes.
thing is the modern medicine was first when it came up to this was like a mechanical model. It's like a body is different, mind is different. But then
Yes.
human being is not mechanical. Human being is dynamic and changing all the time. He's
Yeah.
full of feelings, full of thoughts, full of understandings and all that. They don't take consideration to that. Just label them and then make them feel bad about themselves and all that.
Yes, and then, like I said, and then like I don't want to get in conspiracy theories, but then while we're sitting here trying to work on stuff,
Mhm.
they'll have something go down in Washington that has everybody's attention, something crazy with a president or with whatever, and then under the covers of darkness,
Yeah.
they let the drug company, I think it was Searle or whatever,
Mhm.
join with the Roundup company that did the fertilizer with the genetic modification of shit.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now they actually have the whole food chain basically.
Yeah.
And then they're suing people. No, and then they're suing people who are planting organic gardens. If their organic garden or organic farm is next to a genetically modified form and the seeds and natural pollination
Yes.
float over there, they're saying that you're using our technology without paying for it and then taking people's forms. So it's like we got to come up with we got to decide that we're going to come work together with the health of everybody, and it's not about treatment, it's about cure. And the thing is that doctors and people think that we ain't going to get no money if we ain't selling no drugs, but the thing is we still may need the drug for the acute problem.
Yes.
Like right now I'm treating something where if holistically, if it doesn't, I give myself 2 weeks to deal with it. And if it doesn't work, I'll go get a medication.
Exactly.
Okay? I'll go to the doctor.
It's a acute medicine, we are okay, but it is, doing all this major damage. So like genetic like grown are not, we not know how much problem there will be down the line, especially something is going into us. That's how we produce this much of cancer to begin with. So many toxins, so many chemicals, so many pesticides, antibiotics, all these things are causing problems to us. I'm glad so you're so aware of this, Lois. This is what exactly I'm looking for everybody to understand, be aware of what is going on outside and also what is going on within our body when we consume these things unknowingly. The fast food, how much damage is doing.
Even talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I did studies on my own because I wanted to see if what I read or what I heard was true.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll say like the McDonald's hamburger, cheeseburger. I saw a story where a man said he had left the cheeseburger in the coat of his winter coat in December and pulled the coat out again in April, and he had the burger in it, and the burger was fully intact. It wasn't rancid, it wasn't molded, it wasn't rotten, it wasn't no maggots in his pocket, it wasn't none of that kind of stuff. So I'm like, wait a minute, if there's bread, it should get molded, okay?
Yeah.
If there's meat, it should get rancid, and you should get some type of crap growing. You know what I mean? You should have something growing on it. So I went, and because I had stopped eating fast food many years ago, especially McDonald's. I took the cheeseburger, and my friend was still eating it. I let people do what they do because everybody's body's different, and everybody got to learn on their own. And if I can just give you information, because you still choose to eat it, you eat it, okay? So I bought an extra cheeseburger because I wanted to see if this was true, and I placed it on top of my refrigerator. Okay, I didn't put it in plastic or anything because I wanted to be close to what the man said. It was just in his pocket, wrapped in a yellow wrapper. Okay, I put it on top of my refrigerator and left it there. And about a month into the experiment, because it was supposed to be for 3 months. About a month or two into the experiment, my friend died, and I forgot all about the hamburger on top of my refrigerator. Okay. 7 months later, much longer than the experiment he did, the man did, and he actually did it in his pocket. 7 months later, my refrigerator went out, and I needed a new refrigerator. And I found the hamburger on top of the refrigerator, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about this. The hamburger was totally intact. Okay, was no mold. You tap on the bread, it sounds like cardboard, like paper or something. You tap on the bread, it crumbles. Okay, the hamburger looked like a piece of rubber that you put in the kids, like when the little kids had a little play kitchen and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff that was on it, the pickle and the hamburger looked like it came from the play stuff because it was totally rubber. Okay, there was no maggots, there was no green on anything. The little ketchup spot was still the ketchup spot. The mustard spot was. And the little onions. The onions were the only thing that looked like they were affected by the rotten. Okay, but the rest of the burger was 100% intact, and I was like, oh my god, what caused this? And of course, I have a scientific mind. That's the preservatives.
Yes.
And the fact that it's not real food.
Yeah, that's it. Actually, the vitality of the food comes into play here. That's why we recommend make food and then pan to plate at least within 45 minutes. Then you'll have what is called this vital energy, the prana they call it in yoga, and that is very, very important for us to eat vital food and freshly made, freshly farm food. We got it from morning till afternoon, instead of traveling 3-4 weeks, and then we take the food. All those things are important. People have to be aware of that. So best thing would be grow the vegetables and fruits within your backyard or in the apartment, and then eat that food. And my daughter was growing wonderful greens a couple of months ago before the winter, and we enjoyed them, all of it. It
Oh,
took,
see, that's what I'm. Well, I know that for me,
yeah,
I'm in Las Vegas, and to try and get a good garden going with it, the kind of heat and then the cold we get,
yeah,
it's kind of hard to do that. So I'm trying to encourage my sister in
yeah,
California to. She got a big giant backyard
yeah,
to start a garden back there so that I can get fresh fruits and vegetables. Because I had friends who grew their own greens and bell peppers and onions and potatoes, and when her daddy would harvest his food, I'd go over and get me a basket. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it was fresh. And even eggs when I'm in California. When I go to California, my friend works and passes by a farm, and
uh,
every time he goes to work, so I have him stop at the farm, and they basically go into the chicken coop and pack my eggs.
yeah,
So and I noticed that there is a market difference in the yolk of the egg when it's
exactly.
fresh from the farm,
Yeah.
as opposed to when it's been sitting on in the refrigerated section of the grocery store for whoever knows how long.
Yeah, the taste you
Okay.
can feel yourself. There's a marked change in that, whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and so the whole thing is that when we realize we have to, I'm like this. I try to keep my meals one to two, three ingredients, maybe four ingredients, okay, to make it not complicated for my immune, but for my system to break it down and
Yeah.
send it where it needs to go. And then I try to make sure that they're as live as possible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I say live as possible, meaning I'm sticking to staying away from the dried grains and all that stuff
Yeah.
that's been preserved and that's been from the burn down and trying to yield more.
Let's come back and finish your thought. Yeah, she's coming back. Yeah,
Okay,
Lois.
like you were saying, it's the energy of the food that
Yeah.
that gives our body the energy it needs. And if the food is dead
Yes.
going in,
Yes.
come on now, dead food going in, gonna give you death coming out. Okay, I just how I see it.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is that they push a lot of grains here in the United States
Yeah.
because they have to did so many subsidies to farmers, and they said they're gonna make their money back.
Mm.
So they push the grains. That's why they keep changing that food pyramid. Because
Yeah.
I was like, how the hell? But anyway, but the whole thing is when we realize that what we put in us and
Yeah.
how we feel about us and what we think,
Yeah.
all of that has something to do with the health of our physical body.
Yeah, there is a Michael, I don't remember last name. He wrote a book on this, tracing of the generations of food, how the viability, the vitality is robbed by so-called modern chemicals. That's a wonderful book. We kind of reviewed that in the antibiotic resistance, where we are using a lot of antibiotics in the animals, and that is producing a lot more antibiotic resistance than in the humans we use. So that's a very revolutionary thing that they are using antibiotic left and right all over and robbing the
Especially
vitality. Yeah,
with farmed animals. When I
yeah,
say farmed animals, I mean uh, raised fish in a pool.
yeah,
In a pool, farmed fish,
yeah,
not the wild fish. That's still pretty okay.
yeah,
And we're also talking about the chickens that are locked up in these little bitty big old chicken pens where they don't get to run around and they all smashed together in this
mm,
factory, or the cows that are lined up in their own stables in
yeah,
this small
suffering.
environment, and that's what's causing disease because they're not supposed to be that damn close to each other.
And also the
They're
stress.
supposed to be roaming free and
Yeah,
bringing the land back. And I was talking to a farmer on here where
again,
what he's been doing is he's trying to bring back the land in a lot of places where the land it can't even be farmed anymore. And how he's doing it is he's just taking the animals and letting them go out and graze.
yeah,
Okay, and
yeah,
I'm sorry, as they poop, and I'll say it like that, they're putting more of the stuff that the ground needs to fertilize
yeah.
it to bring back
No, that's
the
true.
fields, the pastures.
They've done a
So
study on that, Lois. The topsoil is eroded because we are not allowing the animals to roam around and then get
yes,
their feces into the ground and then go there and nurture the organic matter of the earth. So that's a big thing. People are working very hard on that to get back to the same routines that we had at one time. Instead of making these animals stand in one row and then suffer, they produce a lot of stress hormones, and that we consume when you eat that meat.
Yes, and that part too.
Yeah.
The stress of the animal, how the animal is killed,
Yes.
makes a difference in how much stress hormones are in the meat that we eat.
Yes.
And when we eat that stuff filled with stress hormones, it does have a profound effect on our hormonal system of our physical body.
Exactly.
Because hormones are hormones.
Exactly. That's what it is. We don't need them. When we need them, that's okay. But when we don't need them, we are artificially imposing chemical burden on our internal metabolism, which is not good at all.
Yeah, and then let's not add to the fact that when you prescribe medications
Yeah.
and you take the medications and you go to the bathroom and you urinate, the medications is going into the water systems.
Exactly.
And they're finding out that our water systems are contaminated by glucose, glyburide. No, I'm serious. All the stress, the diseases that can become around by stress, like diabetes and high blood pressure.
You see, some of these
medications are in our waters now.
Yeah.
So some people can take the medicine and they wonder why the medicine won't work for them. Because they got enough of them in their system already from the from the pour off or the waste or whatever it is. And then when they got to try all these new different high blood pressure meds. And the more we use the medications, the more we mess up our environment, and the more we're going to need them. So if we get to a holistic approach where we give the medication for the acute problem, because any of the other problems that we have, whether it's diabetes or high blood pressure or cholesterol, all of those are problems that acute medicine was not meant to treat.
Yes.
And was not meant to do. They were supposed to knock it down for a little while so that you get your diet right, just like a vet. So I can do my vet. My vet give me a drug for the acute problem, and then he prescribes my dog a diet, and I keep my dog on a diet, and the dog never has that problem again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Exactly. You see, what they are doing is not appropriate medication, but just medication first for everything. That is so irresponsible way of treating a disease. You got to diagnose, you got to go to the roots and then prevent the cause. Then if you have problems that we can correct the disease, then give the medication. You can do it in a lot of cases like that.
And then most of the diseases that we suffer that are killing people are just that can be controlled by the food you eat.
Yeah.
Just changing your food and changing your activity level.
Exactly.
And because the thing is, everything on this earth based on 12 laws of the universe, it's always in constant motion. Everything is in constant motion, and we're supposed to be in constant motion.
Yeah.
And when we're not in constant motion, it gets stagnant. And these stagnant food is going to fester with bullshit. Yeah. That's how people get cancer, locked in their body, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Inflammation and all that stuff. And the thing is,
Lois,
use a drug to treat inflammation.
You touched a very important aspect of synchronization with the natural rhythms or spiritual laws. They are universal laws. Once we are there, all these things become much easier because you have what is called nature within us and outside of, and that nature is preserved. It will heal itself. But we interfere with the nature so much, then we have to diagnose where the nature has gone wrong. What did we do to mess it with the food or activities and all that, and then correct them first. Then go to, like you said, your vet corrects with the dog. That's what our vet does it too. But in my clinic practice, 97, when I established my own clinic, I put it like let us go to the root of all the illnesses that come to us. We're going to treat the suffering of acute problems, a cough or something like that, but then focus on what is causing. Is it somebody breathing bad air, or is it smoking, or is it not deep breathing? Those kind of things, very simple things we went into, and people loved it once they understood it, because we care deeply.
Because when you realize that you have a chakra system that is affected by everything that you do, that if you have a closed throat chakra, then you're going to have illnesses that have to do with breathing, you speaking up, and because I've noticed that when I work with clients, if they had asthma,
yeah,
asthma is an emotional disease. Okay, once they started speaking up and standing up for themselves, their fucking asthma resolved itself. Okay, they were able to breathe again because what they were doing was they were closing their throat chakra and not saying anything and not saying anything and not saying anything, and then all of a sudden having an asthma attack. Okay, and it's like, what? No, those are emotions that they've locked in there that they're not expressing. And when we don't express the energy, because the energy is supposed to flow through, it ain't supposed to stay with you. It's supposed to keep flowing through you. Keep flowing through you. The feelings are supposed to flow through you. And when we stop them, we stagnate them, then we get some type of dis-ease.
Yeah,
you know, your body is not at ease. It's not a disease. It's like one word, but it's not at ease. And the thing is, for me, I ask my body, okay, I say, "Nee, what's wrong with you? What's happening, Nee?" And then all of a sudden for me, I ho'oponopono too. And I ho'oponopono the knee pain, and then I'll hear something in my head is like, "You're being inflexible in this." And then I changed my mental stance on what I was being inflexible in, and my knee stopped hurting. And I ain't had to take now pill. Not one, not a pain medicine, not a Tylenol, not a Naproxen. You know, when I realized that, hey, this knee just started hurting out of nowhere. That don't mean I got arthritis. That means that I'm being inflexible. Because when you look at what the knee is connected to and all the meridians and shit, you'll know that
there was an asthma
in areas where we're not letting energy flow through it.
Yeah, and Lois, there was an asthma patient. She happened to come to our town where my clinic was, and she was visiting her mom. So she had an attack here, and then she came to my clinic. And then I didn't go by the routine way, but I interviewed her and found out what was the problem with all that. And she was so relaxed with me. Her attack is gone even before I treated her.
Okay, and that's because she was made aware that the asthma had something to do with the problems that with whoever.
Right there.
The thing is that, but if we run to the drug first, we it's kind of like, here I am, I got pain that's telling me, oh wait, hit this better entity. I had a mark on one of my X-rays when I got hit in the head by a client, but it was not, the concussion did not make that mark that they found on the X-ray. That was something totally different. But so if I hadn't gotten hit by that client, I would have known that I had a growth in my freaking brain. You know, but then finding out that it was there, and going back to the doctor, the specialist, I went for a total of 4 X-rays. The first 3 X-rays showed what it was. But me knowing psychology, I knew that if I got something growing, I got resentments. If I got cancer, I got resentments. So I started just forgiving. This is where I started with Ho'oponopono way back in my 20s, where I started just forgiving everybody that I can think of that I held something against. And each time I went to get the X-ray, that was still there. But the last time when they were talking about, they were trying to figure out what they're going to do, remove whatever it was surgically or what, to go in and do, I forgot, investigative, whatever it is. By the time I got there to the 4th one, after doing all the forgiving of all the resentments, there was no spot on the X-ray. And they were able to layer them on top of each other and see that it was clearly there. And it was 4 different doctors. So I found at that point that your illnesses have a lot to do with your willingness to let shit go.
That's it. Very important, because that's the cleaning of the psyche within, cleaning of all your inner psychological frustrations, whatever you have. You know, let me say something about the chakra system. I hear a lot about this, and then I see a lot of people don't have complete comprehension of it. They say actually they are not physical nervous things that are there, but they are corresponding to certain plexus, but then they're actually about what is your highest level of understanding. You know, suppose you are just instinctual and you are just eating and sleeping and procreating, that you are in the base. From there, your awareness, your thought, your understanding of the life evolves. When you come to the heart chakra, in between the other things are there, then you're not working for yourself anymore. You opened your heart. That's why you are able to receive everything. And when you go all the way up to the top chakra, where you say there are no others, There are no others to really even forgive. So once you come to that, it's called ekatvam, oneness. Once you establish in the oneness, then there are no others, and you don't have to judge them. You don't have to, regret them. But then a lot of people don't come there. So it's the evolution
because
of.
forgiveness is not necessary at that stage
Yeah.
because you know
Yeah.
that everything and everybody's all
Exactly.
interconnected and it's all about the whole thing.
I think you
But
might have
until
reached
you
it
get
there.
there,
Yeah.
until you get there, you
Yeah.
can't rise up. You
That's
can't rise up there
that's
and
it.
let shit go.
Yeah. No, no. I only describe a system. I'm not saying everybody should be there. Everybody will be at their own level. But then the understanding is, where is my level of understanding? Where are my with the life, with everything? And the more you are there with that oneness, then you can have less problems to deal with. But
Yes,
then,
it is true. That's
yeah,
true because the higher your energy,
yeah,
when it comes to chakras, if your energy is high,
yeah,
disease does not
come
hold
in.
on to a high vibration.
Yes.
The vibration of disease is too low
Yeah.
to have an effect on a high vibration.
The
You
very
have
first
to
talk I
have
did.
lower vibration for you to get the disease to catch you. And fear is the main one.
Yeah, very good. Lois, the very first talk I did on the wisdom was about highest healthy people are self-realized people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people may not have understood it. This is what I mean by that. Not that everybody has to be there. Don't have to be, but we can deal with whoever, whatever stage they are, because they are going to be on their path, and then just deal with them at that stage, and then they help them to see for themselves what they are, and then they will be much more easily recovering to that natural balance we are talking about.
Right, and it's just about shining.
Yeah.
When we shine our light on another's path, whose life path is not dark, it illuminates their path.
They have to walk,
up, but it also illuminates ours.
yes,
and we get to both walk in the light.
Exactly.
We are interconnected.
Exactly. That is the exploration together means we're not preaching anything. We're just walking with you, and then
Yes.
we can throw the light, but you have to walk.
Yes, you got to do the walking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't.
Come back, Lois. Okay.
Have to. We can't take anybody with us on their journey.
No.
No. We can't go on nobody's journey for them. Just like I can't say, Dr. Brown, I got to use the bathroom. Please go use the bathroom.
I will give you a good example on that. The butterfly, when it is a cocoon, it tries very hard at the last few steps to get out of that, and then once it comes out, it kind of flies with the wings, right? So
Yeah.
scientists try to, and a poor thing is trying to very hard. Let's break those things ourselves. They're trying to help it to break it all the obstacles that she had, and then they could not fly. So they have to go through the struggle to get that energy, to get the wings to fly.
To get the energy to build up the strength to break the chrysalis,
yes,
and then be in there long enough where the air is coming through the broken chrysalis, so their wings can get strengthened. So that's why we can't take nobody else down the journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they may not be ready. They might have just got in their chrysalis.
Yeah, they may not be ready. That's fine.
Drag them up the road because you're a butterfly.
That's where we don't judge them. We just compassionately be there, be a friend, be somebody empathetic to them, but not to telling them you got to do this, to do that.
No, you don't tell them you that. The thing is that we don't change a belief system. They have to change the belief system. All we can do is shine a light.
You know what?
We shine the light, and then we can empower them. We can wrap our power around them. We can encourage and wrap our courage around them. To empower and encourage me to wrap it around. We can empower and encourage, but we cannot do the walk. We can talk for you, but we can't walk for you. And the thing is that the whole thing is that when people take personal responsibility for everything. Not just for the good things in their life. Every damn thing. Everything. If I see a homeless person on the street, I'm postponing that because he appeared for me. He's in my experience.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how he got there, but he's in my experience because I looked at him and I felt some type of way.
Yeah.
So that's for me to clean.
Yeah.
Okay, to keep me at 0 point. But the whole thing is that, and for this healthcare thing, is we have to realize that all facets of us need help.
Yes.
Not just our physical body.
Okay?
Exactly. And not just our emotional body, and not just our mental body, and not just the energetic part. Okay, the divine spark in us, it don't need no help. It's all there by itself. All we got to do is keep fanning the flames to make that spark turn into an inferno. And when it turns into an inferno, we start glowing, and then our energy level goes up higher.
Yes.
And then we get into what they call ascension. And like I said, I'm happy all the time.
Yeah.
And everybody, how you doing? I'm fan-fucking-tastic. Because I am. And it's a giddiness.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that something's not, that things aren't going wrong. Or quote unquote going wrong. I know I got things that are happening, but I don't label them. I don't label like, oh, this is so terrible. Oh, hell no. I will say, well, I'm going through this.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because when I qualify with an adjective, I make it, whatever I put that adjective on it, that's what I have to live.
Yeah.
And if I have to live that, then I'm going to feel the opposite of it, because that's the kind of universe we live in. That each has their own put. There's two ends to that pole.
You said something about light of light. That light of light shining within, you don't have to tell anybody. It will come through. That's it.
No, you have to say anything. It'll come through us on its own.
Yeah.
People will walk up to you and say, oh my God, there's something about you. You're just simply glowing. I look in the mirror. It's not glowing on me. But people feel that. And because the thing is that we're all energy, and we're all adaptable, and we all can feel the stuff if we are in tune, are in awareness of it. And some people, we have our awareness in certain areas, and I'll say vibration in certain areas of our life where it's really, really high.
Yeah.
Where nothing affects us, and we just flying on this thing. But then there's other areas where our vibration, where it may be low. And I mean, say for instance, you're having a problem with money, that you got low vibration when it comes to money. Okay. Or you got a high vibration when it comes to this. And, for me, I got a high vibration in a lot of areas, but in some areas, I'm not low vibration, but I'm not high.
Yeah.
I know I got to work on that area, but it has to be done within a balance. And that's what I'm talking when I say towards wellness and oriented system, is that we have to work on bringing homeostasis to our whole being. And as we bring homeostasis to our physical individual beings, that spiritual part, then we're actually bringing it to everywhere.
That's the way. Actually, what it is yoga system made a fundamental difference for me was you have that abundance within you. Don't go and find things and money and all that. But then what happened was, with that inner contentment and abundance, you are going there working with no need to strive for things, but really working in joy to help the world.
Right. Because we know, because the thing is, no matter what happens to me, I know that it's for my good, and that there's something good that's going to come of it, regardless to what it is. It could be something, well, it could be like my daughter's death. Okay, a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
I didn't think nothing good was going to come out of that. I was very angry, but then I knew that it would. You know what I'm saying? My mouth said one thing, and my emotions said one thing, but my heart said something else. And my sister always reminded me, Louis, that's not what you said when that happened. Your heart told me something different. You said that you were going to rise so far above this because you were thrown down in the pit. You was going to fly out of the pit.
Yeah.
and in essence, that's what I did when I was in that right thing. But when I was in that pity party, that thing that makes you feel sad and sorry for yourself, then I was not getting I was not getting the awareness that, hey, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But when I realized that, hey, I got to have grace for myself, and I can grieve with grace. When I decided to grieve with grace, then everything opened up to me. I mean, when I say everything opened up to me. When I said, God, allow me to grieve with grace. I don't want to lose any ground that I've gained because my daughter died. So it's a matter of understanding that everything has to be balanced.
Balance. And then, so the ancient texts always talked about death is a transition. It's not the end of it. Once we are aware
it's a
of
shadow. Death is just a shadow.
Yeah,
that's why that scripture in the Bible says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." It's just a shadow because we are eternal beings.
Yeah.
We may not have this physical body for the eternity ride, but that divine spark that's within us, that's ours for the whole journey.
Exactly. Even the Bhagavad Gita, the same thing. Najayate mriyate. That the spirit has no birth, no death. What dies is this body and mind. So that gives a lot of courage and strength for people to deal with the death. Understanding that. So you kind of know the permanence of the spirit, and then you are not dying there.
Yes, that's why. That's why you have to balance that spiritual part of your being, so that you can understand who you are at your core, not who you are color, not who you are finances, not who you are a male or female or gender or sexual orientation, but who are you really underneath the backbone, underneath the skin sack, underneath the eye color and all that stuff. Who are you?
Yeah, that
because
India,
and that's when you get to that essential part of who. Of what it is.
For me,
that I love the way Bella used to talk about the essence of you.
Yeah, but every day for me, what happens is that Indian greeting is the essence of that. The Indian greeting means the divinity in Lois, I am prostrating with my own divinity within.
Yes, and that's it.
That's the namaste. Yeah, that's what I
can. The God in me is the God in you. My spirit sees your spirit.
Exactly.
And either way, it sees it and respects it and understands it, and know that I can't make your spirit do something. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, no, you're on your own spiritual journey.
Yes.
And I respect your spiritual journey and where it's taking you and how you've gotten to where you are right now. And I'm on mine. And I respect where mine come from and what got me here. But together, when we talk about us together, we can see how we can glean from each other to make the rest of this ride much more easier.
Yes. And also, you can enjoy the body and mind better because you can repair them better, you can heal them better. That's the point of the whole thing of wellness is come from within, from inside out, it's much easier. But if you think you are the body and then you go, then you're all in confusion and then lots of problems.
And if you think you are the mind, or you think that you are the experiences that you experience,
that's
then you're kind of lost too.
Lost too. Yeah, big loss. Lots of people are lost, big way.
I thank you, Dr. Rob. It's nice talking to you. I like talking about this stuff, and I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
I'm really into integrative medicine, where we're bringing in Oriental medicine with Eastern medicine, with Western medicine, with energy medicine, with you know what I mean, with all of it.
Yeah, you don't have to condemn science.
You can't get a chiropractor ain't a real doctor. Or acupuncture is not a real doctor.
No, it's a kind of science is good for its own sake, and then the ancient science is so good for its own sake. But then study them, learn them, and then act with awareness. And Lois, we have a kinship at the level of the spirit, and that's why we enjoy each other so much. I think.
Well, thank you. But you're my brother. That's why you're my brother. Okay. I may not have had the same mama and daddy, but you are my brother. Just like everybody else on brothers and sisters.
Exactly.
I'm not, because we are all one.
No others.
Whether we want to say it or not, or believe it or not, and we want to be angry and separate ourselves because of race and sex and gender, then we're missing the whole boat.
Exactly. We are all in one energy. There are no others.
There are no others. That's right. That's why forgiveness. Really, once you get to once you realize forgiveness is not necessary, when you realize there are no others.
Exactly.
We're all one. But thank you, Dr. Rao. And I'll be listening, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you, Lois. Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See, Lois is an example of being aware in all spheres of life, and then determining, are we really paying attention to our needs of wellness? Are we well at all? Those kind of things can be answered by people, and then use the system, help to recover the system, help to repair the system. Those things I'm trying to bring focus on. See how much responsibility as citizens we have about reforming the political system. Like that, we have the responsibility to repair the healthcare system, which is only responding to the illness. But if you pay attention and the maintenance and the wellness aspect of it, I think we are better off it. So let's open our eyes and see where our dollars are going, where our awareness going on a daily basis in our lifestyles, and make changes, and thereby be a better human being, better society, and better country. Thank you. I think I will stop it there because we are almost 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 24 minutes now. So I'll be seeing you again later at a convenient time for me and for you all. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everybody.